All right. So let's have a little look at the deadlift. So the deadlift, number one rule we're going to go for here is you must move around the bar. The bar does not move around you. Okay, so remember that. Deadlift, you got to get the feet. Let's start with hip width apart. If we're out here, we're into sumo deadlift. Okay, of course you can pull with your feet really narrow, but let's just go for a good starting point, hip width apart, and let's start with a parallel foot. Okay, there's nothing wrong with a flared toe. That's fine as well. But let's just start parallel foot, hip width apart. It's kind of key to get this part right, okay? Because if you remember back to what I said initially, we move around the bar doesn't move around to us. If I start too close and I come down and get the bar is moved. So what I want to do is, I want to get this bar over the mid of my foot. I was always really confused what that really meant. Was that the mid of my foot from the shin to toe, or was that the mid of my foot from the heel to toe? Well, if I went mid of my foot from heel to toe, well, that's right against my shin. So that's no good. So I'm going to go mid-foot from shin to toe. And I'm just going to use that as a starting point. For me, it's around about here. Now, what I'm now going to do is, I'm going to break at the hip. Okay, I'm not going to allow my upper back to round like this. I'm going to hinge at the hip, so tight, upper back tight, core tight, hinge, come down, my hands are at my knee, and then I'm going to squat down and grab the bar. Note how the bar didn't roll forward, but I've got contact with my shin against the bar. I'm flush here. That's just because of my levers that I've achieved that, but it's usually a good sign. Tight back, tight core, and I'm simply going to stand up. Okay? Note the bar was basically gracing along my legs throughout the entire movement, and it should be coming up in somewhat of a straight line. It's never truly straight, that's the truth. Okay, and when I place it back down, it should come right to the start. Sometimes it's helpful to think, I've got the bar here, hinge, squat a little bit, grab, stand, and through. If the bar moves a little bit, it's not the end of the world, it's okay. But what we don't want is the bar out here and pulling from there. Is that completely wrong? No, because if you look online, there's a video of Dmitry Klokov pulling 300 kilo or something, and the bar is really far away from the shin. It's just a different exercise, just a different way of doing it. Is it optimal for pulling the most amount of weight? No. Depends on what your goals are. Are you lifting the most amount of weight, or are you trying to stress the levers with the weight in that position? It's all good. So that's the deadlift. Anything else to cover? Yeah. So when you come back up to the top, focus on grabbing the glutes tight and the quads tight. We don't want to be loose here with a soft knee. We don't want this way back here. If you're way back here, you're not tightening your quads. Okay? Just think rigid. Okay? Tight. When it gets heavy, you could place an underhand grip. Keep your arm straight. We don't want any bicep curls. Depends on your ability. You might need to go wider to grab this. Or you could just use straps. Okay? Think to yourself, what am I training here? Am I training my posterior chain, or am I training my grip? If you're training your posterior chain, well, why should your grip be the limiting factor? It should be your back or your glutes or your hamstrings. Now, here's the truth. Is deadlift the best exercise for glute growth or hamstring growth? No, I don't personally think so, because you don't put them in like a massively lengthened state. Is it a great exercise? Yes. But again, it always leads you back to the question, why are you placing the deadlift in your training program? Currently, I don't have the deadlift in my program because I'm trying to change my body composition. So I'd rather do RDLs and get a really nice stretch. I just don't think the deadlift does that. But I'll probably chuck them in when I get bored because I find them incredibly fun. I'll just leave it there. So that's the deadlift, everybody. See you there.